Hey guys, how you doing? Well, I'm doing okay, but I'm very depressed. Depressed at what I'm seeing around our wonderful country. Um, and I want to break it down piecemeal. Okay? Now, I've said many times, it is far, far easier to say, I'm sorry, than it is to say, you know what? I did wrong. I screwed up. My bad. My bad. I did wrong. I take full responsibility for the wrong I did. That's difficult for people to do. That is very difficult for people to do. And this is what perfection is. Perfection, according to the Jewish tradition, is to never, ever fail to take responsibility for when you do wrong. Never fail. You do it every single time. And if we did that, I guarantee we will see less and less of all this sinning that we're seeing. We're seeing loads and loads of sin being committed by so many people. Now, according to Jewish tradition, a sin is basically a moral failing. One where you shoot for that moral bullseye and you miss. You didn't hit that moral bullseye. In the Jewish tradition, that's called a sin. And when we care about our behavior, we acknowledge the bad that we did, we acknowledge the sin we committed, say, yes, I did it, and then feel remorse. This is atonement now. First we acknowledge the sin, say, yes, the sin I committed was this, and this, and it was against this person and this person. That is my sin. I acknowledge that sin. I own that sin. Yes, I did wrong. I acknowledge what I did was wrong. And then the second stage is feeling remorse for that sin. I am so humbly sorry. I did this. It was wrong. I feel horrible that I committed this sin. And then comes the third stage, which is committing to do better in the future. How can I make this up to you? Yes, I was wrong. I did it. I am so sorry. How can I make this up to you? And I swear I will never do that again. That was so wrong, and I promise I will never, ever do that again. That is atonement. That is atoning for your sin. That is what is missing in everything we're seeing on the news. Everywhere. That's where the problem is. The problem is not what people are saying what the problem is. The problem is not acknowledging our sins, not taking responsibility for what we do wrong, feeling terrible, deep felt remorse for the sin that we committed, and promising and committing to do better. Damn it, man, I'm going to do better. I'm going to make you proud of me. And hell, I'll make myself proud of myself because I did it. I was wrong. And I will never do it again. And what can I do to make it up to you? You tell me. You tell me what can I do to make this up to you. And nobody's doing that all across this country, all across the board. No one is doing it. Everybody knows they did wrong, and they're all trying. They're not doing what the man in the Garden of Eden and the woman did by passing the buck and blaming someone or something else for the sin that they committed. No. They just said, no. And they know they did wrong because they try to hide it. They try to hide it or hide from it. Okay. Now, okay. Everybody has choices. Everybody has choices. And the choices we make determine or represent the kind of people we are. Okay. Now, what happened in Atlanta? Let's take what happened in Atlanta for a minute. Here we have a drunken man in the driver's seat of a car in the drive-thru at Wendy's. Now, he's drunk, and he's in the driver's seat and fell asleep in the drive-thru at Wendy's. First of all, that's not surprising because alcohol is a sedative, and alcohol will put you to sleep. Okay. Can you imagine being on the road with somebody like that? Why do you think it is a crime to drunk and drive? And let me tell you something. I watched a lot of episodes of Cops, and they were asked what was the most common call they get. The most common call they get is not break-ins, not people with guns, but drunk drivers. Okay, and they showed the many instances of drunk driving, that some of which do not appear in any of the episodes, because some of the drunk people are so drunk, it is embarrassing to show that on the air. So they had to do a lot of editing and save them for the archives, but they never appear in an episode because it is too embarrassing. Now, they can blur out their face, but some of the drunk drivers are just so out of it. They just have no idea where they are, what they're doing, why the officer is talking to them. And I've seen a lot of Cops episodes where they're following a drunk driver. He's all over the road, endangering the lives of others. Because when you're drunk, like I said, it's a sedative. You might as well have given yourself a sleeping pill. Because it's a sedative. That's all it is. So if you're sedated while you're in the driver's seat, you're like, oh, Where'd that tree come from? Oh man, that tree came and hit me. Oh, what was that? Oh, that light post just jumped out and hit me. I've heard that on cops too. You can't make that up, folks. No, I heard him. Those are the reasonings in the drunk person's mind. So, that's what we had in Atlanta. The guy was drunk. The officer very professionally asked him to step out of the car, took a field sobriety test, failed it. He's over the legal limit. Now, I've seen many, many episodes of Cops, and so many people cooperate. I'm sorry. Let's see. Nope. All right, never mind. So, they're cooperative. They say, okay, sir or ma'am, you're under the arrest for drunk driving. Please turn around. They try to put the handcuffs on. And we've also seen many people try to resist the police. Now, in episodes past, I always say, don't try to resist arrest because, hell, that's another charge they place on you, and that'll make you even more, it'll be even more difficult for you to get out of jail because you've added another charge. When you resist arrest and fighting with the officer, that is assault. You're making the officer's job all the more difficult. And the police have a lot of resources open to them. They have K9 units. They have the eye in the sky. They can easily notify them. So we have a suspect. And now they're saying, oh, they're not perps, they're people. Well, yeah, they're people. But once they do wrong and the police are involved, they're not people anymore. They're a number. They become a number. When you get on that system, when you have a bad encounter with the police, you're not a person anymore. And that's why it's always a good idea never to be on the bad side of the police. Because God forbid you should need them due to a break-in, a kidnapping, a murder, a hijacking, arson, whatever it may be. Theft, break-in. And you're going to need the police. Now, my house in New Rochelle was broken into twice. The first time they broke into the house, we were violated. We felt violated. And who did we call right away? We called the police. Now, did they find the people who did it? I don't know. I was too young. I mean, I was in my 20s, yeah, but I didn't know anything about that. And so my dad bought a security alarm system. tied into the police. We were given the codes. So anytime we left the house, we always set the alarm, and somebody breaks in. Somebody else broke in again. And the alarm scared them off. But that's when my dad said it was no longer safe to stay in that house. Because the neighborhood has just gone to hell with people breaking into our house, violating us a second time, even though they didn't even get in. The fact that they approached our house and tried to get in, we felt violated twice. And then the alarm went off. It alerted the police. Police came to investigate. My dad said, this is it. We're leaving this neighborhood. We're going somewhere else where we'll be safe. That we're no longer a target. So, there's a reason why I feel the way I do. Okay, now, he resists arrest like others have done. They reach for the taser. Now, even though the taser is not a lethal weapon, the police know the taser will take the fight out of the officer and render him out of it. And that will give the drunk guy, an easy run escape. That's why the officer had to respond at a quick notice. Instant response. The police officer knew. We've seen, I think they called it justifiable homicide, because the bad guy is shooting at the police. Hey, the police don't want to get shot. They want to go home to their families. So the bad guy gets a gun and about to kill a good guy. So the good guy has to shoot back. Now, that he did right. What he did wrong, is where he aimed. Now, the whole point of shooting back at the suspect running away is not to kill him. But when the officer felt his, it's a taser, yes, it's not a gun. But in an instinct, yeah, he's got adrenaline. That isn't a crime. They're making it the fact that his adrenaline was still going, that makes it a crime or something. It doesn't. But people don't think you can shoot in the leg, in the foot. You got a taser pointed at you while you're chasing a drunk man who failed the sobriety test after getting him out of the driver's seat of a car at Wendy's. Now, he could have shot at his feet. That'll knock him down without killing him. And that really should be the officer's intent, to just knock him down so he doesn't get away and he doesn't kill him. So, okay, it happened. Now, tell me, is it Wendy's fault? Is it Wendy's fault that he was ultimately killed? So the arson made a you know, a thought, a choice. So the arson had a choice. The arson chose to burn down Wendy's where the situation occurred. Was it Wendy's fault that the guy fell asleep through the drive-in window? The guy was drunk. What was it Wendy's fault? Is Wendy's to blame? Why torch Wendy's? And the fact that they blocked the roadway to keep the fire department from going in there and doing their job. To stop the fire. Because whoever was the arson wanted that Wendy's burned down to the ground. Because it's Wendy's fault that the guy was killed. It was Wendy's fault. Wasn't the officer's fault. No, the officer has no blame. It's Wendy's fault. And we gotta make Wendy's pay a lesson. Think of the mentality of it. Okay. What happened in the crime families that we used to hear about years ago? It's street justice, no. It's mob, it's mafia, it's organized crime. That's what they did. So setting fire to an innocent store that had no participation at all with what happened. Why? Just because it happened there? Because the guy had fallen asleep at the drive-thru? Was it Wendy's fault that the driver fell asleep? Was it Wendy's fault that the guy chose to go to Wendy's to the drive-thru? Wendy's is just doing what Wendy's does. Wendy's was... Why the guy fell asleep, I don't know. Did he fall asleep before he got to the order window? Did he fall asleep after he placed his order and before he picked up his order? We don't know where he fell asleep. But that was his choice. He chose to go to Wendy's. Is it Wendy's fault that the guy fell asleep? Why torch an innocent restaurant and keep the fire department from putting it out? Because you want to make Wendy's pay a lesson or something. We're going to teach Wendy's a lesson. We're going to burn it down. That'll teach it. Really. And what role did Wendy's have and what happened to the guy? Where is Wendy's culpability in what happened to him? Where was Wendy's guilt that we gotta make Wendy's pay a lesson? Where is it? I don't see it. Anybody out there, all you guys out there, if you can tell me where Macy's is culpable, and it's where 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 is Wendy's fault that the guy is dead? What role? Co-conspirator, I think is the word. Because if you do wrong and others are not stopping it, they're an accessory to the crime. Thank you, that's what I'm talking about. Please tell me where Wendy's is accessible to what happened to the guy. Why was Wendy's considered culpable, responsible? Tell us what Wendy's did that caused the death. We could talk to Wendy's. We would have talked to Wendy's. You tell us where Wendy's participated. And we'll go to Wendy's and make sure we straighten it out. Wendy's, you did this, this, and this is why this man is dead. Because of what you, Wendy's, had done. It's your fault, Wendy's. It's your fault that the man is dead. And this is the reason why it's your fault. For the reasons A, B, C, and D. Wendy's would say, okay, or nah. Oh, that's your answer. Okay, well, I hope nobody gets hurt. Hey, Rico. Hey, light up the place. Will do, boss. And we're going to keep the fire department from putting out the fire. That'll teach Wendy's a lesson. Really. It's all screwed up. There is no rhyme or reason to any of this. And what's happening up in Seattle, they'll allow cameras to shoot during the peaceful time. But God forbid someone takes out their camera when there's some violence going. Yeah, they'll confiscate that camera, probably break it. No. Why? You have to already know that it's wrong if you don't want them filming during a skirmish, during a fight, during an altercation. You don't want cameras running during those fights. Oh, gee, I wonder why. Hey, George, I wonder why when there's a fight, they don't want people taking videos. But when it's peaceful, they will. George, I have no idea. But, they already know what's going on is wrong. And that's why they don't want people taking videos. Because they know what's happening is bad, is wrong, is keeping the truth from coming out. You know what that is? Children, can you say propaganda? Goebbels. Are these the values we're teaching our Americans? This is not American behavior. This is not American behavior. This must not continue. And let me tell you something. If it were up to me, I would say, okay, you want to be on your own. You want to occupy that portion. Fine. We'll secede Seattle from the Union. We'll build a barrier around your area. You will be in your own district. I don't know if you want to make that part of Canada. I'm not sure how close it is to the Canadian border. But we're just okay. If that's what you want to do, fine. We'll designate a barrier around your area. You want to do things your way, fine. We won't send any aid, any help, any food. You'll be on your own. That's what I would do. Tough love. You know. You won't be part of the electricity grid. Someone would have to, you'll have your own little government. You'll secede from the Union. You'll be independent. And you can do whatever you want to do. No more funding. No more anything. We'll take you off the electricity grid, water system. You figure out what to do on your own. Go ahead. And you got a mayor who don't give a damn. She thinks it's a block party. Serve her love, okay? Guess what? We will cut all ties